Alright guys, so I think I'm going to do a Shia LaBeouf impression for my intro. Here it goes. No. No. No, 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 no. No. No, 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 no. You guys get it? Okay. Anyway, hey there guys, what's up? It is Autobot Mike 18 here with another one of my old movie reviews. And this is going to be a very special old movie review for you guys. Yeah, here's a look at my shirt, just to give you guys an idea of what I'm reviewing. No, I'm not reviewing Disturbia. For my next old movie review, guys, as you guys know, I posted a video probably a few days ago, depending on when this will go up, talking about Transformers Age of Extinction week, or Transformers Age of Extinction Countdown week, okay? Because as many of you know, my most highly anticipated film of the year, Transformers Age of Extinction, comes out on June 27th, which is in a few days from now. And that is my most highly anticipated film of the year. I can't wait for it. In celebration of the release of a new Transformers movie, for my old movie review series, I will be reviewing the first 3 Transformer films in the trilogy to get ready for Age of Extinction. So I'm going to review the first one, which is what I'm going to be reviewing in this video. I'm going to be reviewing the 2007 live-action Transformers movie. And then I'm going to review Revenge of the Fallen, then Dark of the Moon, and then that will lead up to my Age of Extinction review when the movie comes out. Anyway, guys, yes, I will be reviewing the original 2007 Transformers, directed by Michael Bay, starring Shia LaBeouf, Megan Fox, Josh Duhamel, Tyreese Gibson, and a lot of other actors. Unfortunately, I do not have the movie on Blu-ray yet. Believe me, I will try to get it. And Transformers is obviously based on the very popular 1980s cartoon. So when people first got wind and they first learned that Michael Bay was directing a live-action Transformers movie, you won't believe how high the levels of excitement were and how many people were anticipating the original Transformers, because it was going to be the first Transformers movie not only on the big screen that wasn't animated, but it was also going to be live-action, where they take humans and they interact with Transformers that are digitally inserted using visual effects in post-production. Okay, so a lot of people were really anticipating. I myself was definitely looking forward to it. I'm actually going to make a discussion video sometime in the next few days as to why I'm a big fan of the Transformers series. And I actually rewatched the first Transformers in order to review it. I'm going to be also rewatching the second two, Revenge of the Fallen and Dark of the Moon. And I gotta tell you, I haven't watched the first Transformers in like years, okay? And rewatching it a few days ago just brought back so many memories, and I still do love the first Transformers movie, and I can't wait to actually fully get into the review, which I'm going to do right now for you guys. Yeah, you know what? It's still one of my favorites of all time, really. I love the first Transformers movie. It's definitely not without its flaws, but I still love it. Anyway, guys, let's get into the actual review, where I start talking about the premise. That was just my longer intro, you know, setting up the review. Now I'm going to get into the actual review, where I start talking about the premise of the movie. Now, there has been a large war on the planet known as Cybertron between 2 races of alien robots, essentially. Between the sides, you have the side of the Autobots, who fight for good, and you have the Decepticons, who fight for evil. There's been a large war on Cybertron, and the Decepticons are after the legendary Allspark, which has the ability to take matter, or take technology, and transform it into, you know, like an actual transformer. So the Decepticons are after the Allspark, and of course the Allspark winds up on Earth, of all places, where the Decepticons get to Earth and they want to use the Allspark's power to take Earth's technology and transform it into armies of Decepticons so they can take over the entire Earth. And obviously it's the mission of the Autobots to find the Allspark first and stop the Decepticons from taking over the world with the powers of the Allspark. And that is basically the overall premise of the first Transformers movie. And then you have a very important subplot involving human character Sam Witwicky, played by Shia LaBeouf. He's roughly 16 years old, he's kind of a social outcast, and he is on the verge of buying his first car in order to get the girl of his dreams, or to get a girlfriend in general. And in order to do so, he needs to get the cool car to impress the girl, and of course, he is going to play an important role in getting the Transformers to find, getting the Autobots, excuse me, to find the Allspark. He's essentially the key into getting them to find the Allspark. And that's all I'm really going to give away about the first Transformers. If you haven't seen it, I don't spoil in my old movie reviews. And just in case you guys didn't know this, if you haven't seen the original Transformers, I don't know why you hadn't, but there are two other human subplots going on, but I'm not going to mention them for the sake of not spoiling anything, or not. I don't want this premise to be too long, okay? Anyway, guys, a lot of people, in regards to the whole entire trilogy of the original Transformers movies, feel that the first one is the best, but they still have problems with it. Like, a lot of people hate this series, okay? And I get that, okay? Look, I am a fan, okay? There you go. I have been a fan of this series since I first watched the first Transformers in the theaters in 2007. I was like 11, and like I said, I'm going to make that discussion video on why I like Transformers. But as of right now, a lot of people bashed the first Transformers. You know, a lot of people were never fans of Michael Bay to begin with, and the fact that he always does things with explosions and just his directing style in general. People weren't fans of it. But many people not only bashed the first one for, you know, Michael Bay or whatever, but they bashed it because they felt that there was too much human involvement in the movie and we didn't get to see enough of the Transformers. Well, in my opinion, guys, I think that Bay and the screenwriters did it right in regards to how much human involvement they had in the movie. Because just think about it, guys, and I'm defending them because I didn't have a problem with the human involvement. I thought we saw enough of the Transformers in the first Transformers movie, in my opinion. The thing is, the movie is set on Earth, so in a sense, how do you not expect there to be a lot of human or military involvement? Okay? And the movie is set on Earth, our home planet. Of course there's going to be human involvement. Of course there's going to be military involvement. Of course there's going to be military involvement as they try to stop the Decepticons from taking over the Earth. How can you not have human and military involvement? And I know that a lot of you will say, oh, you could have cut out a subplot or two, a human subplot, one or two of them. And yeah, maybe you could have, okay? But I still feel that the way they did it was the right way. Because not only do they have human involvement in the movie, but they have two human story arcs that actually are relatable and can make audience members connect to the storylines. And those two storylines involve Sam Witwicky's storyline, because Sam is a young teenager who wants to get a girlfriend, or to get a girlfriend, he's got to get a car. I think many teen boys can relate to that. When I first watched Transformers, I was young, but as I grew older and as I got into high school and I watched the movie, I said to myself, yeah, I can relate to the situation. I definitely one day want to get a girlfriend. In order to get a girlfriend, what is one thing that can impress a girl? A nice car, alright? So I understood Sam's point there. And that is definitely one thing that teen boys can relate to. That's one reason why I always enjoyed the first Transformers movie. Sam Witwicky's story arc was always relatable in my opinion. Especially with the wacky parents, I can relate to that. Then any soldiers or anyone who has been a soldier in the past can relate to the story arc of Lennox's story. He's a soldier trying to get home to see his wife and his baby girl, his baby daughter for the first time. I think many soldiers, whether you're fighting, you know, whether you're in the army, the navy, whatever, I think you can relate to something like that. So that's why I do like the human storylines. I still think we got enough of the Transformers, and I think the human plot points were necessary. So I just wanted to make that clear. Anyway, guys, getting into the cast really briefly, one reason why I always loved the first Transformers, it always had a fun and entertaining cast, in my opinion. You have Shia LaBeouf, Megan Fox, Josh Duhamel, Tyreese Gibson, Jon Voight, John Turturro, Anthony Anderson, Rachel Taylor, Kevin Dunn, Julie White, and even Bernie Mac, who makes a quick appearance in the movie. I always enjoyed the cast. Let's quickly talk about most of the main actors. Shia LaBeouf, I've always loved the guy. You know, you can say whatever you want. You can bash Shia LaBeouf for his personal life and the things that he's done as a person. But I think you guys need to look at LaBeouf as an actor, because you can't argue, you can't disagree and say that LaBeouf is a terrible actor just because he's maybe not the best person in the world. Because he definitely is a good and talented actor, in my opinion. He can pull off a good performance when he needs to pull off a good performance, and he did in the Transformers movies, in my opinion. He was always a fun character. I liked the dialogue, the lines they gave him. They always gave him some fun lines, and just like I said, his story was definitely relatable to me. That's why I always liked LaBeouf's character and why I always liked LaBeouf as an actor. Not as a person. I'm talking about him as an actor. Now, Megan Fox, everyone knows that Megan Fox's main point in the first two Transformer movies was always being the eye candy for the audience, okay? That's kind of what she is. There's a shot of her leaning over Bumblebee trying to fix the front engine, okay? And she's like pulling on something, okay? Alright, obviously that's eye candy for the audience, and while I think that is a smart move on Bay's part to get more males to see the movie, that is a smart move. Megan Fox isn't the main reason why you should go see the movie. It's for the Transformers, it's for the entertaining story, and Megan Fox is just a side factor that you can enjoy. While a lot of people bash her acting, I personally never had a problem with it. I thought she was decent, she always did a good job for the role that she had, okay? For this type of movie, I always never had a problem with her. Josh Duhamel, Tyreese Gibson, always liked them. I liked the chemistry that they had with one another. The two soldiers trying to get through all of this. I think they were members of the U.S. Air Force, if I'm not mistaken. And then you have John Voight playing the Secretary of Defense. I always liked John Voight in that role. John Turturro, say what you want about John Turturro. He's unnecessary, whatever. He's one of the head agents of Sector 7. I always liked John Turturro. I always thought he was entertaining. I liked him. Not so much in the first one, but in the second two movies, I liked the guy. And then Anthony Anderson was cool. He had a few fun scenes. Him and Rachel Taylor's plot point could have... You can argue that could have been taken out of the movie, but I still found enjoyment in it. And then, of course, you have the wacky parents, but I always liked them. I never had a problem with them. Anyway, guys, that's basically the whole entire cast. I always enjoyed the ensemble cast for the movie. They were given a decent script to work with, in my opinion, and they made the best of it with what they were given, and that's why I always commend them for it. Anyway, guys, getting into my review, my rating of Transformers. You know what? You may think that I am a complete fanboy, and I am a fanboy of the Transformers movies. I'm not denying it. But you may think that all I do is just praise these movies, give them so much praise, blah, blah, blah. And you may think that that's all I love is the Transformers movies. That's all I watch is the Transformers movies. That's not true, okay? I have a diverse love in film, and while I don't feel these are the best movies of all time, okay? In the beginning, I said these are some of my favorite movies of all time. I did not say they are some of the best movies out there. Because let's face it, they definitely have flaws. And the first Transformer movies had flaws, okay? There are a few problems I had with the movie. It's not a perfect movie, therefore I'm not going to give it a perfect score. However, because it's one of my favorite movies, because it had an impact on my childhood, it was very nostalgic for me when I was younger. I grew up with this series, and I always enjoyed the first film. I always thought it was one of my favorites. I am going to give the first Transformers a 9.75 out of 10. I cannot go all the way because it did have its flaws here or there. But, getting into the things I loved about the movie, like I said, the cast was great. I always enjoyed all the human characters. They all did a good job, in my opinion. Human actors. They're working with Transformers that aren't there, that are digitally inserted in the end of the movie. That's pretty tough to do. Also, forgot to mention, it was pretty cool how they got Peter Cullen back to voice Optimus. That pleased a lot of people, and I always thought that was a good choice as well. No one can voice Optimus Prime other than Peter Cullen. Real quick, talking about Michael Bay. You can bash Bay all you want, guys, but you need a definitely visual and visionary director to direct these types of movies. It's not easy to set up a shot where you're trying to show a Transformer in the shot that isn't there. You have to literally insert the Transformer using CGI in post-production. Okay, that is not easy to do, and in my opinion, that is one way Bay always perfected directing these movies. Okay, it's a hard thing to do, and I always had to praise Bay for taking that step to put the Transformers in these movies and mix live action with CGI. That's very hard to do. There are several things, you know, you have to have explosions here or there. You have to have buildings falling and all that kind of stuff. You know, you have to have something blowing up in order to get the effect of the Transformers fighting. You know, Autobots versus Decepticons or whatever. That's very hard to do, and I think Bay has always pulled it off. I think he's always had a visionary eye for what he wants to put on the screen, and because of that, he's always succeeded, in my opinion. And yes, he may use explosions, but I think he's always done a fantastic job directing. Now, and another reason why people bash Bay, they feel that most of the screenplay is because of Michael Bay. Yeah, Michael Bay may have input on some scenes that are in the movie, but ultimately, if you're going to complain about the writing, complain about the screenwriters, not Michael Bay, who's there to basically take what is written and put it on the big screen. However, in my opinion, the script of the first Transformers was really good. The humor was great, in my opinion. I always laughed at some of the scenes in there. I thought the story was very entertaining. little bit compelling, and I always loved the fact that they, I always loved Sam's story. I always enjoyed this story of the soldiers, and I didn't mind the other human subplots, and I always liked how this is the first Transformers movie. This is the first time humans are meeting Transformers, so that kind of first contact thing that's going on in the movie, I like that. Humans got to get used to Transformers. They have to get used to the fact that these giant robots are fighting in a city, or they're blowing up things or whatever. They're making a mess, destroying things. I always like that. A few other things I have to praise. The sound editing was always really good in my opinion. The score by Steve Jablonsky was always impressive in my opinion. Always fit well in the movie. The soundtrack, Linkin Park had a song here for the soundtrack, What I've Done. The Goo Goo Dolls soundtrack always fit well with the first Transformers. The movie was so fast-paced. The editing was great. I love fast-paced action movies, especially like Transformers. They do it right in my opinion. Like I rewatched this and I'm like, wow, I can't believe I forgot how fast-paced this movie was. This is a very fast-paced, well-edited movie in my opinion. The action scenes were great, even though there could have been more. I really enjoyed them. And, of course, how can I not praise the visuals? This is up there with films like Gravity, or films like Life of Pi, or King Kong, with some of the most visually stunning films I've ever seen. Transformers, the first one, is up there. Because keep in mind, this is the first time we're seeing giant CGI robots on screen. They looked so authentic. Just to have them fight and mingle with an actual set, okay, and to make that look real, like you actually have giant robots fighting each other in a city or in a desert or whatever in this movie, I always thought that worked very well in my opinion. And the action was great. The visual effects are just stunning in my opinion. They really are. And this movie definitely has some memorable scenes as well. Now, getting into two minor flaws I had with the movie. Like I said, guys, the movie is not a perfect 10 for me. 9.75 for me. There's about two flaws I had. Like I said earlier, the editing was really, really good. Really fast-paced. Really, the movie does not waste any time. It gets right to the point. Goes through each scene. It does not feel slow. Apart from the middle, right when Sector 7 comes into the movie in the middle, I feel that the editing got a little sloppy and the movie dragged on a little bit. Then, in my opinion, it picked right back up right when the characters go to the Hoover Dam. That's when the movie picked up, in my opinion, and kept me more entertained. And finally, the last minor problem I have, and this is because I'm comparing this to the second two Transformer movies, this has the least action of the trilogy. But had I been reviewing this movie for the first time, I would not have a complaint like that, because this movie does have a lot of action, just doesn't have as much action as Dark of the Moon and Revenge of the Fallen. But with that being said, guys, what can I say about Transformers? It's a fun, entertaining, popcorn flick in my opinion, and it will always be one of my favorite films of all time. It has a special place in my heart, in my opinion, and I've always enjoyed it, okay? It's not a perfect movie, but it is a pretty damn entertaining movie. We go to the movies to be entertained and have fun, and that is why we go to see movies like Transformers, to go in and have fun. And that's why I'm giving Transformers a 9.75 out of 10. I loved it. So guys, if you have seen the first Transformers, I assume you have, let me know what you thought of it down below in the comments. I'm sorry for the fact this review is long, but I had a lot to discuss. I really do like this movie, and yeah, so that's all I have to say, guys. Stay tuned for my Revenge of the Fallen review coming up, as well as my Dark of the Moon review coming up, which will be up soon, I guess. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.